Prsonas is what we call an interactive, intelligent digital assistant. A lot of people are hearing the buzz term digital human these days. We focus on the creation of digital personalities that bring trust, empathy, and approachability to the digital health space for the a clinical trial in hospital navigation and wayfinding communities. And we started Prsonas almost 21 years ago. Really got into the digital human space about 2013. We've been doing patient engagement for almost 20 years. We got into this space basically to start focusing on healthcare equity, diversity, inclusivity within the healthcare space. Digital humans aren't an obvious choice, but it really tries to overcome the communication barriers we have with the patient population, improve the patient experience. So the ideal is to create a series of personalities that are relatable to your target audience, regardless of demographic. So we've built these digital humans to speak over 150 languages. We have 2 members of the deaf community on staff, so we have outreach programs to the deaf community, to underserved communities that are often underrepresented in clinical trials and clinical trial work. What makes Prsonas really tick and what makes us a little different is that we really focus on what we call human engagement, human communication, not human replication. Digital humans are known to try to be ultra photorealistic, to be a little less trusting, to be a little more quote unquote creepy factor, if that is a term we hear a lot. So what we've done is we were formed out of a group of developers from EA Sports and other gaming communities. And we're the guys that brought you NCAA football and Madden football and some other games out there. And so if we figured if we can get a gaming population engaged and committed to playing games as much as they can, what better purpose than could we come up with these gaming technologies than to try to get people as committed and quote unquote addicted to their own health and wellness. So we've rolled all that fun, engagement, patient experiential elements from the gaming world into the healthcare sector. Thank you for asking. And I say that in all seriousness because a lot of the other players in the space really focus on human replication. They want to make everything so perfect. The reality is the uncanny valley. If you don't trust the human form, and we have a trust issue in healthcare, in particular clinical trials anyway, why do we want to recreate that? I had the honor of meeting with the vice president of Disney Imagineering, a guy named John Snoddy, who really focused in on some of our early development where we were going down that too photorealistic. So we've backed off the characters, we've made them more fun, we've made them more engaging, we've made them more approachable, more trustworthy. So our characters are intentionally created in a more animated fashion to be that personality, not the replicated human. Probably the number one question we have to defend on a day-to-day basis. People really need to start looking at digital humans and digital personalities like we create as productivity tools. There are these productivity tools you use every day. They just happen to communicate at a human level. So instead of us teaching humans how to use technology, we're teaching technology how to communicate as humans. In reality, you can only automate 20 to 30% of any human position out there. So the ideal here is, instead of looking at us as replacing humans, what if I could take your high value human capital, those people that if I could give them 20% of their day back or even 10% of their day back, what could they do in those high value interactions that only humans could do? So really we're pulling the mundane, repetitive task off of their plate and giving them the freedom and the productivity to focus on what humans do best, create and innovate. We tend to chase a lot of shiny objects. There's so many applicable spaces, but some of those pieces that have found early adoption and that really show a quick return on value is in the clinical trial process, where we try to improve clinical outcomes. We try to improve the diversity in the demographics that we target for patient recruitment. We try to speed up and cut down on the labor and time needed to onboard and go through the consent process. And then we use these avatars to help re-engaging patients to keep them retained through the entire length of the clinical trial. So clinical trial is a great use. Other uses that are pretty popular are for hospital navigators, hospital wayfinders. How do you take patients who are in high stress environments, like a hospital where they've maybe not familiar with the environment and they're needing to be somewhere, they're trying to take care of loved ones. And right now the common approach is to either fumble their way around the hospital facility or to interrupt the HCP staff, the healthcare staff. And we try to take that burden, which takes the burden off the healthcare staff and takes the stress off the visiting patients to the facilities. I'm not sure they've entirely changed to our liking yet, but let's just say there's a big push out there. Everybody's learning about ChatGPT and generative AI and all, and we want to make it very clear that that's wonderful technology and it has its use case. People had always been afraid of AI, in particular digital humans. To be blunt, they watch too many Hollywood movies and think that, Terminator's coming for their souls. No, the reality is these are really just productivity tools. Artificial intelligence has incredible power, and all we're trying to do is open up and create a seamless, a frictionless interface between all this wonderful technology you're seeing, like AI, IoT technologies, natural language parsing, voice assistance, all this, and making it very obtainable. So you and I are talking to the technology, the enabling technology behind it, not just trying to teach people how to use those complex pieces. ChatGPT and generative AI is another hot topic. And like I said, they have their use cases. We tend to focus on very specific patient experiences that are going to be driven by IRB and regulatory compliance requirements. So we work with the patient experience team and we use the AI on interpreting the data and bringing in what the intent of that data is and not on formulating its own results. We call that active learning. And so that's kind of some of the things where the healthcare world is starting to warm up to what the potential of AI and is understanding the different flavors of AI. And the more they understand that, the more I think they'll find those very specific use cases that have a wonderful ROI and will improve the health and wellness of patients. That's another one that has really multiple use cases. The way we like to deploy it is think of it as these vast pools of information that are being gathered together. How do you give a patient who doesn't have the medical training and background a tool that allows them to access this vast number of amounts of information? My wife's a 2-time cancer survivor. I'm a late-stage colon cancer survivor. And the first thing we did is I won't blame her for that one, poured myself on the internet, scared the you-know-what out of me, and started trying to digest the grotesque amounts of information, much of which wasn't the properly vetted information. So what we're doing is taking all that information and allowing the healthcare professionals and the patient experience teams culminate that into the vetted information and then given a quick and easy tool so that you as the patient have a trusted, empathetic, non-judgmental resource to go to provide that proper vetted information that you need as a patient. Equity in healthcare has become a very needed and overlooked portion of healthcare, in particular as it relates to the patient experience. With the vast amounts of information and technology we've just talked about briefly, we like to take all that information, run it through all the AI that behind the scenes, hide it from the patient, and then just empower our avatars to speak over 150 languages. They can recognize voice, they carry on conversations, they even speak sign language. That helps bridge the gap between underserved communities, cultural diversity. Our characters can look and act whatever brand ambassador or demographic ambassador you need for your a patient population. One other thing we love to mention that's really hard to identify until you've used the Prsonas type character is the nature of the data analytics and the insights we're giving you for the patients. Typically, you can give a patient a survey and say, pick option A, B, or C. And then I can report back to the data analytics team, well, 27% picked A, 33% picked B and the other 40% picked C. But when you're actually engaging in a conversation with a patient, you can say, hey, what's troubling you? Hey, do you agree with this? Hey, what is? And you can leave these open-ended conversational questions. So then we listen to that. We try to deduce the intent of what the patient wants, but then we're able to take the other information that maybe we didn't even think about and provide that back to the data analytics team. A really, really overly simplified use case is in the hospital wayfinding. Typical wayfinders, you'd walk into the hospital, you look at a board, you go, I need to get to room 203, or I need to get to the imaging lab, or where's the pharmacy? With our type of conversational, you don't need to know even what you're looking for. You can say, oh my gosh, I need to get my prescription filled, where do I go? And our character can go, okay, the intent, the AI behind it is telling us that you need to find a pharmacy. So that helps you not have to know about the technology. Then if I ask something off the wall, like, how much is parking? Wait a second, I'm the patient experience team. What do I care about parking? But you know what? Your patients, your customers want to know how much it is to park at the hospital. So we're able now to go back to the patient experience team and say, you know what? 15% of your patients are asking about about parking fees. Maybe you want to add that information into the knowledge base of our personas. So our personas really become an extended part of your workforce. We call it a digital workforce.